ॐ दक्षिणस्य समारम्भा शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमा अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ता स्मर्या गुरुपरम्परा श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। परिज्ञानाश्रम श्रीगुरुशङ्कर परिज्ञानाश्रम शङ्कर सद्गुरु केशववामन कृष्णपाण्डुरङ्ग आनन्द परिज्ञानगुरु सद्यो जात शङ्कर सद्गुरु गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ नमो भगवते वैवस्वताय मृत्यवे ब्रह्मविद्याचार्याय नचिकेतसे च। So we have completed the first chapter, first valli, or the first section of the first chapter in the last section or the last session. And then there we saw it started with a story of the father of Nachiketa doing the Vishwajit Yajna and inadvertently saying out of impatience and anger that I'll send you to Mrityu Devata, and the son Nachiketa, taking it very seriously, really traveled to the Yamaloka, and then Yama, who was not there at home, made Nachiketa actually to wait for 3 days and 3 nights without food and without water, waiting for the Lord Yama to come. And then, because of this omission, Bhagwan Yamadharmaraja actually offered 3 boons to Nachiketa. This is a very short summary that I am giving. No teaching of Atmajnanam has started yet because Upanishad is actually the teaching of Atmajnanam or Brahma Vidya from a teacher, Acharya, to a Shishya. But that so far has not started because we are still in the Akhyayika, we are still in the story itself, which is bringing together the Acharya and the Shishya together. And also, indirectly, it tells us what are the qualities and what is the preparedness of a Shishya for this knowledge. At the same time, what are the qualities of a Guru also. So, the Guru and Shishya, that is Yamadharmaraja as the Guru and Nachiketa as the Shishya, have been brought together, and their conversation has gone on in the form of offering of 3 boons, and how Nachiketa proves that he is a Shishya par excellence and he is prepared to receive this Atmajnanam from Yamadharmaraja. He proves that by his Viveka, when Yamadharmaraja tries to entice him with all kinds of worldly, this worldly and the other worldly pleasures also, he tries to offer him all that a human being can desire, even when such things are offered, earthly pleasures, heavenly pleasures also. Nachiketa says that all these are impermanent, they are all anitya. For the time being, they may give me some pleasure, but ultimately they are not going to last. Yamadharmaraja gave him the boon that he could be alive as long as he wanted. But for that also Nachiketa said it's not worth it, because being in the Marthya Loka, being in the earthly existence, whether it is 1,000 years or 1 lakh years or whatever it may be, a jiva once who has been born in this earthly existence has to disappear one day or the other. So there is no point in trying to say that I want to be immortal. I know there is only one way of being immortal, and that is to know about what this Atma is. And that is what he asked in the 3rd boon. The first boon was meant for the peace and well being of his father. The second vara or the second boon he encashed for the sake of those people in the earthly existence who want to attain higher lokas by doing various kinds of karmas. And then from Yama, he learned that particular vidya or that particular karma and upasana by which an earthly human, an earthly jiva, can attain higher lokas after death. And when it came to the third boon, that third boon was asked for himself. And Nachiketa said, Hey Yama, this boon is for myself. You are the Lord of death, and you know what happens when a human body dies. Some people say that something remains back. Some people say nothing remains back. There are certain philosophies like the Charvaka philosophy who say that body is the only thing. For them, there is no Sukshma Sharira also. Forget about the Karana Sharira. For them, once the body is gone, everything is gone. There is no question of Punarjanma, there is no question of coming back again, nothing like that. The body is gone and the Jiva is gone. There is no Jiva left behind. Body is everything. But then there are other philosophies, Astika philosophies, and our Vedas also talk about something which travels and comes back. And what is that? That is the Jiva. What is a Jiva? The Sukshma Sharira, Karana Sharira, along with the entire, the burden of the Sanchita karmas that the Jiva has accrued in all his millions of previous lives, all those bundles, that huge bundle of karma, which is called as anarabdha karma or the sanchita karma. This karma, along with sukshma and karana sharira, which is called as the jiva, which travels, which gets processed in the life later in the form of the sukshma jiva. And when the prarabdha karmas have fructified to the right extent, this particular jiva embodies itself into another body. It may be a human body, it may be some other body, and comes back into earthly existence again. And the existence, it could be earthly, or depending upon the punyas and papas which have fructified as prarabdha, the jiva may be born in higher lokas or he may be born in the lower lokas also. This is what happens to the traveling jiva. So there is something left behind, which is the traveling jiva. At the same time, there is something else which is left behind, that which does not travel, that which is not limited by the time and space, that which is nityam, that which is sarvagatam, that which is purnam, that which is param, means that which is infinite. There is something infinite which remains back, which does not travel. At the same time, it is sukshmat sukshmataram. Sukshma Sharira itself, Karana Sukshma Sharira, the Jiva, we cannot see. Once the body dies, none of us can see the Jiva traveling or going away. We can't say that, oh, look, this Jiva is going away. It is not possible. Being Sukshma, it is not available for perception for anybody. At the same time, this Atma also, being the most subtle, even subtler than the Jiva, it is not possible for any one of us to see it or perceive it. So Nachiketa knows that what he is asking for is not about the traveling jiva. He is not asking the teacher Yamadharmaraja to tell him or teach him about the jiva going and coming back, because he knows it already. And he says, who else can be a better person than you? I want you to become my acharya. This is where Nachiketa chooses Yamadharmaraja to be his acharya and asks this question about this particular doubt which people have got, that which remains behind, that which is all the time there about this Atma, I want to know. And Yamadharmaraja wants to dissuade Nachiketa because he's not sure whether Nachiketa is prepared for this knowledge. And what does Yamadharmaraja do? He tries to entice him with various kinds of pralobhanam, it is called as. He tries to attract him, distract him with offering him various kinds of this worldly and other worldly pleasures. And our Nachiketa very clearly shows Vairagyam for Iha Phala and Amutra Phala also. He does not want any pleasures of this world or the other world. he shows his vairagya, which is a very, very important quality of a mumukshu. Of course, he has shown his tivra mumukshutvam in the form of telling Yama, I don't want any other thing. The third vara is going to be only this. This is what I want by the third boon. Even though Yamadharmaraja tells him, ask for some other boon, ask for another boon, don't compel me to tell you about this. Still, then Nachiketa says, no, this kind of a guru like you, this opportunity to learn from a guru like you, I will not get again in my life. And hey, Yamadharmaraja, you told me that even devas, even the higher beings, are in a confusion about Atma. And they probably did not have a good guru like you. That is why they are still in confusion. But you, I have got you, and I want to learn this from you. So, here in this Upanishad, Yamadharmaraja is shown as a Jnani Guru, as a Shrotriya Brahmanishta Guru. This is the only place where Yamadharma Raja is given the position of a Shrotriya and Brahmanishta Guru. And Nachiketa says, I don't want anything else except this knowledge, and I want you to be my Guru. So he has shown his mumukshutvam. And he has shown his viveka in trying to say why he is refusing all the enticement that Lord Yama has, thrown in front of him. You can have this, you can have this, you can have that, whatever you want. But then he does not get, even moved a little bit by all those things Yamadharmaraja has offered. And what does he say? He says, I don't want any of them because I know all of them are anitya. Even this long life which you have given me, I can probably be alive as long as you are in this position as Yamadharmaraja. But once you are not there, I will also have to go because your boon is gone. Therefore, I am not interested in long life. I am not interested in emperorship of the whole earth. I am not interested in enjoying any earthly pleasures. I am not interested in enjoying heavenly pleasures. Viveka, Vairagya, Mumukshutvam. And the very fact that he waited for 3 days without food and water for the teacher to appear shows his discipline, his Shama, Dama, Uparama, that shows. And most important thing is he has the value for this knowledge. He has this value for this knowledge because of which he wants to have this knowledge. And because of this, now Yamadharmaraja is convinced that the Shishya is somebody who is capable of getting this knowledge. He has already shown that he has got a very good Grahana Shakti and Dharana Shakti in the last session. In the last few sessions, we saw when he repeated that Vidya, Nachiketa Agni Vidya, he repeats immediately without going wrong anywhere. It shows that he has got the intelligence also. So, this Nachiketa, an 8-year-old Vaidika boy, is a very, very fit recipient of this knowledge, and therefore Yamadharmaraja is happy. And now we go to the second Valli or second section of chapter 1. As I told you, there are 2 chapters in Kathopanishad. The first chapter has 3 sections. The sections here are called as Vallis, 3 Vallis. The second chapter, the second Adhyaya, also has got 3 Vallis. So there are totally 6 Vallis are there. We have completed the first Valli of 29 verses. Now we will go to the second Valli, which has got about 25 verses. In this Valli, the first 13 verses, Yamadharmaraja talks about the glory of this knowledge and the glory of a prepared Shishya. To have a prepared Shishya for a teacher also is very, very important. See, giving this knowledge is, if a guru is a Shrotriya Brahmanishta Guru, giving this knowledge is no problem for him. But the recipient also should match up to the teacher. If the recipient doesn't match up to the guru, then the guru's efforts are wasted. Now, here, Yamadharmaraja is very, very convinced now that the Shishya who is asking for this knowledge is not merely a childish 8-year-old boy, but a boy, a Vaidika who is well prepared for this knowledge, intelligent enough to know what he wants. He has made his Purushartha Nishchaya. What is the Purushartha Nishchaya of Nachiketa? Moksha. And that is what he's going to talk about in the first 13 verses as to what is this Purushartha Nishchaya and what is the meaning of deciding about what I want in this life. What is the glory of such a person who has made the Purushartha Nishchaya of Moksha, and also what is the glory of this Brahma Vidya. That is what is going to be talked about in the first 13 verses, after which the introduction to the actual Brahma Vidya will start, and from the 18th verse, the actual teaching will start. So let us go to the Dvitiya Valli here, the first verse. Anyat shreyo anyat yutaiva preyah te ubhe nanarthe purushagam sinitah तयोः श्रेय आददानस्य साधुः भवति हीयतेऽर्थाद्य उप्रेयो वृणीते. For this, I need to give you a little bit of explanation before we start going into this mantra proper. Now, the human pursuits are called as Purusharthas, a human pursuit. What is it that a human being wants? The wants of a human being, or what a human being or a human jiva pursues, are called as the human pursuits and the so-called Purusharthas in Sanskrit. Now, the Purusharthas, or what a human jiva wants, can be broadly classified into four Purusharthas, which we have already seen in Tattvabodha, we have already seen it in Vivek Chudamani also, and to a large extent in Bhagavad Gita also we have seen. So what are these Purusharthas? These four Purusharthas are basically can be divided into two groups. One group of human pursuit is that where the human being wants material happiness and material gains. So his Purusharthas or his pursuits are more towards getting material pursuits, getting material benefits, material phalas in life. Then there is a second big group which is called as, the one who wants to know about himself, the one who wants to get out of this samsara of coming again and again and wants to understand what is the reality of the self and finally escape from the bondage of samsara. In the first group, where the material gains are more important, the human beings or the jiva is not bothered about the bondage. The human jiva does not feel that it is a bondage. The human jiva is not yet ready for freedom from this bondage. He is not interested in freedom from bondage. He is only interested in acquiring material benefits, going after material pursuits. Whereas in the second group, the person is no longer interested in material acquisitions, in material phalas, but he wants to once and for all understand what this jiva is, what this jagat is, what Ishvara is, and once for all get out of this bondage of repeated cycles of birth and death. So the first group of Purusharthas are the Dharma, Artha, and Kama Purusharthas. What is Dharma Purushartha? You do karmas and upasanas sufficiently in such a way that one accrues sufficient amount of punya and avoids papa. And because of this punya, he gets whatever he wants in this life and in the next life. So, by doing certain karmas, certain rituals, certain upasanas, which are talked about in the Veda Purva, they do this to accrue punya, to accrue merits or punya by which these people can have a very good life here in this earthly existence, and also after death they can attain higher lokas. This is Dharma Purushartha. Then there is Artha Purushartha, where a person is interested in acquiring accumulating material wealth. Security and material wealth. It could be money, it could be gold, it could be in the form of cattle. As in the olden days, cattle wealth was supposed to be very well. Or it could be in the form of a family lineage, continuing one's lineage, keeping everything sufficiently so that I feel safe and secure. Working towards security by acquiring material resources. This is what is called as Artha Purushartha. Then we have Kama Purushartha, where we want to enjoy certain things, we desire for things, we desire for enjoyment, desire for entertainment, desire for many, many things here. Now, whatever is available in this world, we want to enjoy that, we want to acquire that Kama Purushartha. So, Dharma Purushartha, Artha Purushartha, and Kama Purushartha are the human pursuits which are purely based on material acquisitions and material punyas. Here, the person is not bothered about Atmajnana. The person is not bothered about coming back again and again. His only interest is in Putreshana, Vitteshana, and Lokeshana. We can say these three Purusharthas are going to fulfill the three very, very basic desires of a human being. Putreshana, that is to have a sufficiently large family and continue the lineage of the family. Vitteshana, money and security. Lokeshana, to really have a very good surroundings around oneself in this loka, and also gain higher lokas and enjoy the happiness in the higher lokas. So all one's desires as a common, as a normal human being, the desires of a person of Vittayashana, Loka. Yeshana means desire. Vittayashana, desire for money and resources. Putreshana, desire for progeny and extension of the family. Lokeshana, desire for conducive, happy surroundings around oneself. And our Veda Purva, the Veda Purva or Karma Kanda of the Vedas, gives us sufficient number of means or sadhanas to attain these goals. Our Vedas don't say that dharma, artha, kama, purushas are wrong. No, they don't say that. Very fine. You have dharma purushartha, artha purushartha, kama purushartha. But let those purusharthas be attained in a dharmic way, in a proper way. And Karma Kanda of the Vedas, called as Veda Purva, says, I will give you the means for all these ends. So, what are the ends? What are the goals for people who are having dharma, artha, kama, purushartha? Material pursuits, material happiness in this world and other worlds later is the goal or sadhyam. Sadhyam means the goal for these people. And what does Veda Purva say? I will tell you what has to be done. I will tell you what needs to be done for these things, what kind of karma has to be done, what kind of upasana has to be done, how to go about it, dharmically, how to attain all your desires and fulfill all your desires. I will tell you that. That's what the Veda Purva says. But at the same time, Veda Purva also says that in this, whatever karma phala you accrue, you have to come back again and again and again to go through and work out these karma phalas. You may acquire punya, you may acquire papa in this whole process. Whatever karma phala you acquire, one has to keep coming back again and again. Therefore, all those rituals or the means, the sadhanas prescribed by the Veda Purva continue to keep the jiva in bondage. The dharma, artha, kama, purusharthas are going to keep this jiva in bondage for a very, very, very long time. Now let us go to the next group, the one who is a moksha purusharthi. The moksha purusharthi, having understood the ephemeral nature of the other three purusharthas, having gone through all these purusharthas and seen how anityam they are and how the dharma, artha, kama purusharthas keep me bound to this existence, keeps making me come back again and again into this earthly existence or other other loka's existence, but keeps me coming back again and again and again into this cycle of life and birth. It keeps me coming back, and I don't want any of these material pursuits. I want to escape from all these, and I want to be free from coming back again and again. This freedom that I want is called as moksha, and such a person is called as a moksha purusharthi, or the purushartha or the goal here is moksha. And our Vedas have the second portion of the Vedas called as Vedanta, or what is called as the Upanishads, which caters to this kind of a person who is a moksha purusharthi. And ultimately, what do our scriptures say? The ones who go after dharma, artha, kama, purusharthas are not intelligent people. That's what our scriptures say. They are mudhas. That's what, no, I'm not saying. The scriptures say they are mudhas. They don't know what they are asking. They're asking for something which is very, very temporary, which is not going to be there, which is going to continuously keep you in bondage. They go after it. It is only very rare intelligent people who have seen, who have understood the limitations of the dharma, artha, kama, purushartha are the ones who go for this moksha purushartha. So those who do moksha purushartha nishchaya, Vedanta guides. And these Upanishads which we are studying are for a moksha purusharthi. In other words, a moksha purusharthi is also called as a mumukshu. A mumukshu is the one who has done the nishchaya of moksha purushartha. Purushartha nishchaya for moksha has been done very, very clearly. That's why there is another Upanishad called Mundakopanishad which says, Pariksha lokan karma chitan brahmano nirvedamayat nasti akrita kritena tat vijnanartham sagurumevabhigachet Samikpanihi Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. That's what it says. What is the meaning? After having gone through the ephemeral nature and the anitya status of all dharma, artha, kama, purusharthas, this person who has acquired vairagya towards them goes to the Jnana Kanda of the Vedas, the Vedanta, for moksha. The Karma Kanda is for Dharma, Artha, Kama, Purusharthas, and the Jnana Kanda or the Vedanta is for Moksha Purushartha. Now, in the language of Kathopanishad, the Dharma, Artha, Kama, Purusharthas or the material pursuits in life are called as preyas. Yamadharmaraja uses the word preyaha or preyas, preyas, preyaha. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Purusharthis are called as preyorthis. That is what? They want material acquisitions. They want all their goals are materialistic, nothing more than that. Such a pursuit, such a material pursuit of a dharma, artha, kama, purusharthi is called as preyaha, preyas or preyaha. Whereas the second one, who is a moksha purusharthi, the one who has done the purushartha nishchaya that I want moksha and goes to Vedanta or Jnana Kanda for this knowledge, such a pursuit is called as Shreyas or Shreyaha. So henceforth, whenever Yamadharmaraja uses the words Preyaha, Shreyaha or Preyas and Shreyas, it should be very clear to us. Preyas means the one who is after material pursuits in life. Shreyas or Shreyaha means the one who wants nothing but moksha. So who is now our Nachiketa? He is a Shreyorthi. He wants to know about this Atman. So he has chosen Shreyas over Preyas. That means Nachiketa is an intelligent mumukshu. One thing we have to understand, there is nothing called I want a bit of this, I want a bit of that. No, it is not that. Purushartha Nishchaya should be one. Either I want prayas or I want shreyas. Little bit of this, little bit of that, that is not going to work. Let us live our lives. Vedanta does not say that you should take sannyasa if you want shreyas and go away. It does not say. Live your life. Whatever role Ishvara has given you, live that life. But let your mind be constantly hooked on to your ultimate goal of moksha purushartha. Let that be that constant background in your mind. Do whatever else you have to do, fulfill your duties, do what you have to do, but don't forget that my ultimate commitment is to moksha. It is not for these prayers. Whatever Ishvara has given me, I'll make use of, and I will do whatever is needed. But my ultimate Purushartha Nishchaya is that of Shreyas, and therefore my commitment is to Vedanta. My commitment is to Jnanakanda. My commitment is to know myself who I am, what this Jagat is, what this Ishvara is, in spite of my being playing role in this universe as it is. My ultimate goal is moksha purushartha. So such a person is called as a shreyorthi. Such a person is called as a person who has shreyas. All this introduction because these two words are going to come now in the first verse of the second Valli. Shreyas and Preyas are going to be the words which Yamadharmaraja uses for the Dharmartha Kama Purushartha on one side, Moksha Purushartha on one side. Dharma Artha Kama Purusharthas are together in a group called as Preyaha. Moksha Purushartha alone, because it is absolutely different from the others. The first three are connected to each other. Dharma, Artha, Kama, they are all connected to each other. When there is Dharma, when there is Kama, Artha also comes in there. When Artha is there, Kama also comes in there. And Veda Purva says, do it dharmically, I will give you the means to achieve your end. So Dharma, Artha, Kama are interrelated. Therefore, Dharma, Artha, Kama are taken as one group of Purusharthas, which is called as the prayas. Material pursuits is prayas, and then the spiritual pursuit or the pursuit for Atma Jnanam is called as Shreyas. And now in the first verse, what Yamadharmaraja says, he tells Nachiketa, look, there are two options for a human being. One is that of prayas, the other is that of shreyas. And hey Nachiketa, it is the intelligent people who choose shreyas as the purushartha, and the unintelligent people choose prayas as the purushartha. Why? An intelligent person wants to get out of the cycle of births and deaths once and for all. Whereas by choosing dharma, artha, kama, purushartha or prayers, one is bound forever and comes back again and again into these cycles of birth and death. So here, what he says here, Anyat Shreyaha, Anyat Utaiva Preyaha. We already read this verse. Anyat Shreyaha, Anyat Uta Yeva Preyaha. Shreyaha is very different, and there is something called as prayers. There are two lifestyles. Lokesmin Dvividha Nishta Pura Prokta Mayanagha. That's what Bhagwan Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita. What did he say? Lokesmin Dvividha Nishtha. There are two types of lifestyles. One lifestyle which goes after material pursuits, another lifestyle which goes after release or freedom from this bondage. So here, Anyat Shreyaha, Anyadutaiva Preyaha. So, Nachiketa, there are two types of lifestyles. One is the lifestyle of material pursuits called as Preyaha. The second one is the spiritual quest for what really I am, what the reality of this whole thing is, what is the real thing which, if I know, I'm going to be free from this bandhana of samsara. That is the Shreyaha. Te ubhe nanarthe purushugam sinitaha. I hope you have the books with you. So this mantra, second line says, Te ubhe, both of them, the Preyaha and Shreyaha, both of them, nanarthe, they are going to fulfill different goals. They are meant for different purposes, nanarthe. Prayas is meant for a totally different set of goals. Shreyas is meant for a totally different type of goal. So, ubhe te nanarthe, both of them satisfy, or both of them take you to different goals. One goal is here, one goal is there. That's what he's going to say in the future verses also. Ubhe te nanarthe purushagam sinitaha. Purusham sinitaha means a human being is having these two available to him. Sinita actually means bound. Purushagam Sinita means bound. What it means is a human being has a choice of these two in front of him. Shreyas doesn't bind actually. Though he says Purushagam Sinita, the Upanishad says, we can say that these two lifestyles can bind a human being. But actually speaking, the Shreyas lifestyle does not bind when it releases one from bondage. So, what we can say is every human being has a choice of two types of lifestyles. One is the lifestyle of Prayas, which only keeps me coming back again and again into this material. One is the lifestyle of Shreyas, which releases me from this bondage forever. So, te ubhe, both of them, nanarthe, they serve different purposes. They fulfill different goals. Purushagam sinitaha. These two choices are available to a human jiva. Tayoho Shreya Adadhanasya Sadhuhu. Tayoho Shreyaha Adadanasya Sadhuhu Bhavati. That means what? A person who chooses Shreyas, it is for his ultimate good. Sadhuhu Bhavati. For the ultimate good. For that which is for my ultimate good. That's what Arjuna asks Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Tell me that which is for my ultimate good, for my ultimate benefit. That's what Arjuna asks Bhagwan Krishna. That which is, please teach me that which is for my ultimate good. And properly, Nishchitam Bruhi, that which is absolutely necessary for me for my ultimate good, not temporarily. Temporarily, all of us, with a little bit of dharma, artha, kama, all of us can be temporarily happy here. That's it. How long does it last? Nachiketa says, your thousands of years of life gift you have given me, and all these, Chakravarti, the emperorship of this whole universe you have given me, how long that is going to last? That's not going to last. If that is not going to last, what about our little bit here and there, our dharma, artha, karma, purusharthas that we are small things here, how long do they last? They are so momentary, they just disappear. And whatever efforts we have made, we may not even get the phalam which is equivalent to our efforts. At least in moksha marga, we are sure that ultimately once we are on that marga, we are going to reach there. It may take lives, doesn't matter. We have started kalyanatama journey, we have started in this life. We are not going to come back. It is already been told by Lord Krishna that once you have started this journey, even if you die without getting moksha, I will see that in the next life you are born in a situation where you can restart where you have given up. Therefore, it is said that this kind of a Kalyanatama Marga of Moksha Marga or Shreya Marga can never really be lost to a Shreyorthi. It is something which continues. Whereas Dharma, Artha, Kama, Purusharthas, they can lose that in no time, they can lose that. Here, whatever effort I put is not going to be lost. I'm going to start where I have stopped in next life. So, what he says is, Tayoho, out of the two of them, Shreyaha Adadanasya Sadhur Bhavati. The one who has chosen Moksha Purushartha or Shreyas, it is going to be good for him. Sadhu bhavati. Hiyate arthat ya upreyo vranite. the one who goes after prayas or dharma, artha, kama, purushartha, hiyate. Hiyate means what? He just, comes down. I mean, he just loses whatever he has got. It does not take a long time to lose whatever he has got. And therefore, he says, Nachiketa, I'm so happy that you have chosen Shreyas as your Purushartha. Your Purushartha Nishchaya at the age of 8 years shows the Viveka, Vairagya, and the Tivra Mumukshutvam you have. So, Shreyaha. Now, henceforth in Kathopanishad, we'll be using these two terms only, Shreyaha and Preyaha only, whenever it comes. And we have to understand very clearly, Preyaha or Preyas means material pursuit, involves dharma, artha, kama, purusharthas. Shreyas or Shreyaha means moksha purushartha. This we have to very clearly understand. Let there be no confusion in it. Don't confuse one for the other. So, hiyate. Hiyate means what? The one who chooses, this prayers, or the one who chooses this dharma, artha, kama, purushartha, really loses everything. So what happens? He falls down. Hiyate. Purushartha wise, he falls. Falls down means what? He keeps coming back again and again into these life cycle of birth and death. He keeps falling. Patanam. It is a patanam. Dharma, artha, kama, purusha. Though I may follow the Veda Purva, but ultimately I keep coming back, keep coming back. I don't have any spiritual progress. I keep coming back. Okay. Though, then in the next verse, he continues the same thing and says, Shreyascha preyascha manushyametah tau samparitya vivinakti dhiraha shreyo hi dhiro bhi preyaso vrinite preyo mando yogakshemat vrinite. As I told you, Yamadharmaraja is saying, so Shreyascha Preyascha Manushya Metaha. So every human being has a choice. What choice? Whether I want to go after material pursuits or whether I want to go after moksha purushartha. Whether I want dharmartha kama purushartha preyaha or whether I want moksha purushartha, I must choose my goal. What is my end point ultimately? Where is it that I want? I want to be here, I want to be there. So Shreyascha Preyascha Manushya Metaha. So these two come to a human being. A human being has two choices to choose this or that. Tau samparitya vivinakti dhiraha. Dhiraha means what? An intelligent person, a viveki. What does he do? He tries to compare and contrast the prayer and shreyaha. Prayers and shreyas, he tries to see what is there for me in prayers. If a temporary happiness with some dharma, artha, kama fulfillment, but if I have to keep coming back forever, again and again and again into these circles of life and death, is it what I want? Or is it something that, after understanding that all these purusharthas are absolutely ephemeral and momentary, but I want freedom once and for all from this coming back again and again? What do I want? Which is more interesting for me? Which is more useful for me? Am I going to be more interested and happy with the temporary bits of pleasures and happiness that I get? Or is it something else that I'm looking for? This is what the dhira or the intelligent person or a viveki thinks over. This is the meaning of Purushartha Nishchaya. What is the meaning of it? I want to decide. I have this choice, I have this choice. Two choices are there. Then I think of the first choice, see the pros and cons of the first choice, see the pros and cons of the second choice, and then decide what is it that I want. It is absolutely a person's will as to what I want to choose. And what do our gurus want? Our Guru Parampara, what does it want us to choose? It wants us to be in Moksha Purushartha. That is why all this effort of exposing people to Vedanta. What is the reason? So that at least by listening to these things, by understanding, trying to understand these things, let people know that there is an option for me. There is an option for me of moksha purushartha. There is a possibility for me to get out of all these things. That is the reason why our Guru Parampara, our Gurus are so much concerned that we people should be exposed to Vedanta teaching. And that is why all these things are happening. So he says, Samparitya vivinakti dhiraha. A person decides, a dhiraha, a viveki. That's what pariksha lokan karmachitan brahmanaha. After having examined pariksha, lokan means what? Punya papan pariksha. After having gone through all the karmas and their karma phalas and punya papas pariksha, vivinakti dhiraha. Vivinakti means what? He tries to come to a conclusion and chooses, decides what he wants. Shreyo hi dhiro bhihi. So what does a dhira choose? A viveki choose? Shreyaha he chooses. He says, enough. I have had enough of preyaha, all these millions of lives. The point that the fact that I'm here today is because in all these lives I have gone after dharma, artha, kama, purusharthas. Now I have got a choice and I understand that I have got a choice. Many times we don't even know that we have got a choice. Did we know that? Probably in our previous life, we didn't even know that there was a choice. But now we know that there is a choice. We can choose moksha purushartha. That choice is there for me. So he says, Shreyo hi dhiro bhi vivinakti. Vivinakti means he chooses. He sees the advantages, disadvantages, pros and cons, and he chooses what? The Viveki chooses Shreyaha. And who and Dhiro bihi preyaso vranite preyasaha. He discards prayas and chooses shreyas. Out of the prayas and shreyas, a dhira chooses shreyas. Moksha purushartaha. Preyo mando yogakshemat vranite. A manda, an unintelligent person who's only interested in yogakshema. What is yogakshema? Get what I don't have, protect whatever I have. Get what I don't have, protect what I have. And for that, what do I do? Dharma, artha, kama, purusharthas. Get this, get that, I want this, I want that. After getting this, then I have to make a lot of effort to protect what I have got. Otherwise, it will be lost. Whole life is gone in yoga, shema. Yoga, shema. Apraptasya prapti is yoga. Getting what I don't want. I want this, I want this, I don't have that, I want this. Yoga. Shema, I have this, now I have to protect this. I have to protect this from the government, I have to protect this from income tax, I have to protect this from people who are trying to steal it away from me. So, how to protect it? So, that's all the time. My entire life is gone in Yogakshema, 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 and come back again and again. When I have a choice, I don't choose the right thing. So, what Yamadharmaraja, see, Yama is telling this, the god of death is telling this. Dhiraha or a Viveki chooses Shreyas over Preyas. Whereas who chooses Preyas or Preyaha? Mandaha Yogakshemat Preyo Vrinite. A Mandaha person, even though he knows that there is a moksha purushartha, maybe sometimes there may be a preya purushartha or prayarthi who doesn't know that there is a moksha purushartha. That is different. That is unfortunate. He doesn't have the grace of Ishvara. But if we are people who know that there is a choice for us, and we have this human birth, we have that Narajanma, and we have got this Mumukshutvam, we have got gurus like what we have, Mahapurusha Samshrayam, Manushyatvam, Mumukshutvam, Mahapurusha Samshrayam, we saw in Vivek Chudamani. When we have all these things, if we don't choose Moksha Purushartha and go after petty prayers, then he says we can be called as Manda only. So he says Manda only is the person who chooses Preya Purushartha. Then he says in the next one, Nachiketa, who are you? You are a Shreyorthi. a moksha purusharthi. So you are an ideal person to receive this knowledge. Whatever enticement I offered you in the form of wealth, in the form of long life, in the form of a large family, in the form of gems and various, precious stones and so many things I offered you, even heavenly pleasures like apsaras and everything. But you just threw them away, you just discarded them, you said you keep whatever they are yours, I don't want them, you told. So hey Nachiketa, who are you? That is what he's going to talk about in the third verse, where he's appreciating the shishya. He's appreciating the shishya, that in spite of having so much of a promise of so many things being given to you, you chose not to select that. So he says, Satvam priyan priyarupanscha kaman abhidhyayan nachiketo atyasrakshihi naitagam srinkam vittamayim avaptah yasyam majjanti bahavo manushyaha. बहवो मनुष्याः यस्यां मज्जन्ति. A large part of the humanity, maybe 95% of the humanity, would have gone after all these things. Majjanti, they would have been literally drowned. A large part of the humanity, more than 99% maybe drowned in in prayers. That's why Krishna says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye. Out of thousands, a rare one wants to know me. Tesham yuktanam, among those also, mam veti, kaschit mam veti tatvatah. Hardly one of them really knows me. That's what he's telling here. A large part, maybe 99% or more than that, this part of humanity is lost in Preya Purushartha. And he says, Satvam Priyan Priya Rupanscha Kaman, all kinds of enticement, Priyan means the objects, and also sadhanas for attaining and enjoying those objects also I gave you. Abhidhyayan, having thought over it clearly, having understood their ephemeral nature. Nachiketo atyasrakshi, you literally rejected all of them. Atyasrakshi means you rejected. Abhidhyayan means what? Thinking carefully, carefully thinking over them. I offered you Priyan and also Priyarupan Kaman, wonderful objects, and I also gave you the capacity to enjoy these objects, the sadhanas to enjoy these objects. In spite of giving that, Abhidhyayan, having deeply thought over that, Nachiketaha, hey Nachiketa, Tvam Atyasrakshi, Sahatvam Atyasrakshi. All that I offered you, you rejected in one word. You even said Tavai Vaha Tavanritya Gite. Tavai Vaha, all these Vahanas, all these things which you are offering me, they belong to you. You keep them with you. All the Nritya and Sangeeta of the Apsaras belongs to you. You keep them with you. I don't want any of them. Atyasrakshi means you gave up, you rejected, you didn't even accept it. You just rejected it. So and how? Not out of a childish not understanding it, because a child also may not understand what is offered. Like our guru used to say, you offer a chocolate and a 500 rupee note to a child and say, choose one of them. What will the child choose? The child will choose the chocolate, because the child does not have any value for the 500 rupee note. Similarly, here, what is said is, it is not as if Nachiketa rejected all these things because he was not able to understand what was being given. No, he says, Abhidhyayan, after having clearly thought about it, Pariksha Lokan, having thought about it, clearly understanding it, He Nachiketa, Satvam Atyasrakshihi, you have given up, rejected everything. Na yetagam srinkam vittamayim avaptaha. I even gave you this vittamayi srinka, this very, very expensive, this very, very, srinka or the mala, which is made up of such wonderful gems, which is an Aneka Rupa Mala Vittamai, which I gave you. Any other person would have loved to have this kind of a mala. A Navaratna mala, all the wonderful gems, precious gems are there in this mala. Na yetagam srinkam vittamayim avaptaha. You didn't even take that. Now we know that Nachiketa did not accept it. When the Yamadharmaraja offered him this mala as a gift for having understood the second boon properly, for having understood this Nachiketagni and repeating it correctly, what did Yama do? He gave him two gifts. One, he said, this ritual will be henceforth known by your name as Nachiketagni, and also he removed his, Vittamayi Srinka, Aneka Rupa Vittamayi Srinka he removed. That is what? Different colored one made of precious gems. That particular haram or mahara or mala which he had, Yamadharmaraja, he removed it and offered it to Nachiketa. We see that much only there in the first valley. But here we know Yama himself is saying, even this expensive mala that I gave you as a gift, you did not accept it. Vittamayim srinkam na yetam avaptaha. Na avaptaha. You did not accept it. Yasyam majjanti bahavo manushyaha. In all these, in this kind of a mala, anybody would have been, literally fallen head over heels in love with this kind of a mala. Any other human being, if I had offered this kind of a thing or such an offering was given, probably he would have accepted everything. He would have gone mad, not knowing what to select. So many things I gave you, not because you asked me. You did not ask me at all. You didn't ask me for any of these things. That's the beauty of it. Nachiketa in the first Vara asked for his father's well-being. In the second Vara, he asked for that ritual by which the earthly beings can attain higher lokas. And in the third Vara, he asked for Atmajnana. He never asked for any of these, pleasures and objects of pleasure which Yamadharmaraja offered. But Yamadharmaraja offered on his own, out of happiness, offered on his own to test Nachiketa whether Nachiketa is really a recipient of this knowledge or not. And having tested enough, he said, now he's saying, you are a real Shreyorthi. You are the one who has Abhidhyayan, very clearly having understood the limitations of Preyaha. You have chosen for Shreyas, and you are asking me this question about this Dharmaha Sukshmat Sukshmaha Anuresha Atma. This Atma Jnanam you are asking, rejecting everything else. Therefore, hey Nachiketa, you are a Dhiraha. You are the person who has among the prayers and shreyas, you have two Purusharthas in front of you, and the prayers was something entirely offered by me without your asking. Even then, you rejected it, and now you have gone for this prayer Purushartha. You are the one who is really fit for this knowledge, and I'm going to give you this knowledge. And in the next few verses also, there'll be a few little descriptions or explanation about Preyaha Purushartha, Shreyaha Purushartha, and then after that there'll be the real teaching will start from the 18th verse. So let us remember Shreyaha and Preyaha very clearly. Preyaha is the material pursuit, Shreyaha is the Moksha Purushartha, and our Nachiketa, our hero, has chosen Moksha Purushartha and wants this knowledge from Yamadharmaraja, who is in this Upanishad presented as the Shrotriya Brahmanishta Acharya. We'll talk about the next verse in the next session. Om Nandantu Sadhaka Sarve Vinashyantu Vidushakaha Avasthasham Bhavimestu Prasannostu Gurustada Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkham Apnuyat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om